In this set of 10 questions from Carl Shoupp's book, Test Your Bible Knowledge, we should learn more about Elijah and his problems with Jezebel. She was the wicked queen of Israel during King Ahab's reign, and she made life difficult for anyone that refused her demands. We'll finish the book of 1 Kings and start the book of 2 Kings with this group of multiple choice questions. All of the questions come with 4 answer choices and a reference from the King James Version of the Bible. Before we end this set of questions, we'll say goodbye to Elijah and we'll meet his replacement, Elisha. We should also see the end of Jezebel, which is a famous fulfillment of prophecy. Okay, I'm ready to test my Bible knowledge, and I'll start with number 411. Quote, a still small voice, unquote, came to Elijah, A, with the cake baked on the coals and the cruse of water, B, right after the wind, C, right after the earthquake, or D, right after the fire. I am not totally sure of the answer for this question. It could be any of these. They all make sense. I don't remember this part of the story in the Bible, so this will just be a guess on my part. Is it with the cake baked on the coals and the cruse of water? I'm not quite sure. And then the other 3 choices right after the wind, earthquake, and fire, those seem to all go together. So maybe A is the best guess here for this question. It's the one that's the most different, with the cake baked on the coals and the cruse of water. Wow, I do not remember at all. I think I'm going to just go out on a limb here and pick one of the 3 from below, either the wind, the earthquake, or the fire. So which one would it be? I'm going to go with D, right after the fire, for 411. 412. The Lord decided to leave alive in Israel anyone whose knees had not bowed to Baal and whose mouth had not kissed him, namely A, 70 Israelites, B, 700 Israelites, C, 7,000 Israelites, or D, 70,000 Israelites. I am going to use my strategy again for questions that have numbers as answers. I'm going to eliminate A and D, the smallest and the largest, and I'm going to pick between B and C. I'm going to go for C, 7,000 Israelites, because that seems to make sense here with this question. Maybe there were 7,000 Israelites out of all the Israelites there that didn't worship Baal, so we'll have to see what the right answer is, but for me, it'll be letter C. 413. Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, came to grief because of A, greed, B, modesty, C, indecisiveness, or D, inefficiency. Okay, another pretty good question. I don't really remember at all, so I'm going to guess again. And why would he come to grief? Would it be because of greed, modesty, indecisiveness, or inefficiency? Greed seems to be the best answer. I don't know about modesty or indecisiveness. I'm pretty indecisive on the answer to this question. Or inefficiency. Let's see, king of Syria came to grief because of, I'm going to go with A, greed, for number 413. Alright, 414. Naboth's vineyard proved to be for him A, profitable, B, health-giving, C, sickening, or D, fatal. Alright, finally one that I feel pretty confident with the answer. I think that the answer here is D, fatal. He had the vineyard, Ahab wanted it, he didn't want to sell it to Ahab, so Jezebel took care of that problem, and eventually Ahab was able to own the vineyard. So the answer for 414 for me, I'm going to pick D, fatal. 415. Jezebel was doomed by the Lord to become A, a ghost, B, a wandering Jewess, C, crippled for life, or D, food for dogs. Okay, again, another one that I feel really confident in the answer. I'm going to pick D, food for dogs. I remember this story, and I remember the end of Jezebel. 415, the answer is D, food for dogs. 416. King Ahab's instructions to King Jehoshaphat to go into battle undisguised while he went into it disguised were aimed at A, sparing Jehoshaphat's life, B, sparing his own life, C, allowing the credit for victory to go to Jehoshaphat, or D, assuring that the blame for defeat rested on Jehoshaphat. I think the answer here is B, sparing his own life. So for 416, I'm going to choose B. Question number 417. It is the first question out of the book of 2 Kings. It reads, King Ahaziah died of his sickness because he A. would take no medicine, B. sought a prognosis from the wrong source, C. was unaware that he was ill, or D. followed the regime recommended by Beelzebub. Okay, and I'm going to have to use the process of elimination here on this one because it's going to be another guess on my part. I don't really remember. A. would take no medicine. I don't think that's the answer. B. sought a prognosis from the wrong source. That is most likely the answer. C. was unaware that he was ill. I don't think that's the answer. D. followed the regime recommended by Beelzebub. It could be that. So for me, it's going to be between B and D. For this one, I'm going to go for D. Followed the regime recommended by Beelzebub. And we'll have to see here. For 417, I'm going to choose D. 418. Elijah did not have to obey King Ahaziah's summons to appear before him because he could A. outrun the captain and the 50 men sent to fetch him, B. part the waters of a river with his mantle, C. open fissures in the earth too wide to cross, or D. call down consuming fire from heaven. For this one, I'm going to choose D, call down consuming fire from heaven. I remember that there were a couple of sets of 50 that came to get Elijah, and I remember fire came down and consumed a couple of the sets. So for this one, I'm going to choose D, call down consuming fire from heaven. 419. Elisha was to inherit a double portion of Elijah's spirit if Elisha A. would not search for him after he had been taken from him by the chariot and the horses of fire, B. saw him being taken from him, C. did not see him being taken from him, or D. would not use Elijah's mantle to part the waters of a river. Some pretty specific responses to this question. I am going to choose B, saw him being taken from him, as the answer. I remember this instance here. I think that B is the correct answer for 419. 420. Elisha's anti-pollution agent for water was A, salt, B, pepper, C, iron, or D, sandalwood. The answer here, I'm pretty confident, is A, salt for number 420. Okay, that is the end of another set of 10, and that was pretty difficult. I do not recall some of the specifics about these stories, so I'm going to turn back to the back of the book where the answers are waiting for me and find out which one of these I was able to guess correctly. I'll start with 411, and the correct answer is D, and I put down D. That question was the one... That's right, it started with the quotation, a still small voice came to Elijah. I said D right after the fire, and that indeed was the correct answer. So good job for 411. 412, the correct answer is C, and I put down C. That one was the one about the number of Israelites, 70, 700, 7,000, and 70,000, and I picked C, and that was the correct answer. 413, correct answer is A for that one, and that's what I put down here is A. That question read, Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, came to grief because of, and there it is, it's greed. So that was the correct answer for 413. 414 was the question about Naboth's vineyard, and I said D, fatal. Correct answer for that is D. 415, the correct answer is D, and I put down D. That question was the one about Jezebel and how she was doomed to become food for dogs, and that was the answer D for 415. 416, the correct answer is B, and I put down B. That question was the one that asked about King Ahab's instructions to King Jehoshaphat regarding wearing a disguise, and it was to spare his own life. Answer B. 417. The correct answer is B, and I put down D. That one, it was the first question out of 2 Kings. It had to do with King Ahaziah. Correct answer B, sought a prognosis from the wrong source, and I said D, followed the regime recommended by Beelzebub. So I missed that one, number 417. On to number 418. The correct answer for that question was D, and I put down D. That question read, Elijah did not have to obey King Ahaziah's summons to appear before him because he could, correct answer D, call down consuming fire. 419, the correct answer for that one was B, and I put down B. That was the one that read, Elisha was to inherit a double portion of Elijah's spirit if Elisha, correct answer B, saw him being taken from him. All right, 420, the correct answer is A, and I put down A. That one was the question about Elisha's anti-pollution agent, and it was salt. All right, that is the end of that set of 10, and I thought they were pretty challenging, but I was able to guess my way into getting 90% of them correct, which is not too bad. Well, in the next set of 10 questions, we'll continue in the book of 2 Kings. We'll follow Elisha now, and we'll witness some of his miraculous adventures. Eventually, though, the children of Israel will go through a series of wicked kings, and we'll read about how they will be removed from the Promised Land.